today we are going to learn how to write a simplicity program again that prints the numbers from 1 to n. This is a great way to understand the loop and user input. So yeah, let us dive in and see. But as you can see in here, I have opened code blocks, meaning we will be using code blocks, and we will be using a simple language. We'll be using the C language. So now let us dive in and see what we have in here. So as you already know, before you do anything in your program, you start by writing the line that tells the compiler to include the standard input or the output library, which actually let us use the functions like the printf and the scanf function. And what is that line? That line is the header file. So what is the header file? The header file is hashtag include, and you say stdio.h, and you do it like this, and you go again. What is the next line now? It's the main function. You open the brackets, do not forget them, and after everything, after that main function, you always open the brackets and you will write your program in between. And I choose to open and close them, but you might as well just say, okay, well, just turn off this one, just erase this one and close when you're done. But for me, I personally choose to do it like this because I tend to forget this bracket and be lost when my program is not actually running. So what is the first thing you do? The first thing you do is declaring the variable. We say we'll be writing a program that prints numbers from 1 to n. So we'll be declaring the value n. Why n? Because n is actually the number that we want our program to end up to. So we'll say int n, and we write we put in the semicolon in here, and after that we have to display a message that actually tells the user what to do. So we'll be saying printf, and we use this, and we say enter the positive integer. The positive integer. If that integer is wrong, there's no r in here. The positive integer. Now we're displaying something that will ask the user to actually enter the number, and after that, do not forget the semicolon. And after the printf, we have to actually write something that will allow our computer to read something from the keyboard, which is this one, the number that has been entered in here, and that is the scanf function. So we'll say scanf, and we open the brackets again, and we say %d, and after %d, percentage is basically the space holder of the number which has been entered on number 5, and now we say and n, because our variable is only n, so we'll say n. And after that, now the user has given us the positive integer that we wanted, and from this step the computer already knows the number. So after that, now we have to use something that will actually print each and every number that we are on. Maybe since we'll be writing a program from number 1 up to the number that we are given the user, so now we have to instruct the computer to actually print out each and every number that will have to go through before reaching the number that has been given by the user. And for that, we will be using the for loop. So we'll say for, and we open the brackets. That's how you actually deal with the for loop. And we initialize our variable, which is called I. We initialize it to 0, we initialize it to 1. What is that I? I is basically the loop counter that we mainly use in for loop. And we tend to have the condition. And what is the condition in this case? The condition will have to say less or equal to n. Why am I saying less to equal to n? We said we want to print the numbers from 1 to n. So until this condition is not true anymore, then the loop will stop running. But we say we have to include that equal. Why? Because we want to run up to that number, meaning we'll also include that number. We didn't say we want to run before this number, so we would say just less. If we, let's say the user enters 59, but if we said you want to write a program that will print from 1 up to the number, if we said like we want to print a program that will run up to before the number that has been given by the user, we will say less, because we don't actually want to see the number, but now we also want to see the number that the user is given, so we have to say equal and less than I. And now we we have to write our update expression, which will show that after each and every iteration the value of I will increase by 1. That's basically all it means. It increments by 1. There's no semicolon, that's my bad. And after that, now since we don't want to see only this number, we have to print out all those numbers from number 1 to 2, and for that we will be using the printf function. How are we going to use it? We will say printf and say %d and say /n, which is for the new line, and we do it like this. We say comma in here and we say and n. Yes, and no, not and like I. You write I in here. We're not using scanf in here. We used printf, so we'll be printing something, and at this point the computer already knows what the value of I is. So we will say I, and don't forget the semicolon, and after this you go and say return. Return. What does return? Like, what do you have to write a return? This line actually tells the program that it has finished running successfully, so it's very important for you to include the return, and you close the brackets in here again. So let us build the message, compile, and see if we have any errors. So I'll just say save. I can replace, and as you can see in here, I seem to actually have an error. Let me check what the error is. I said int I forgot to write the I in here. So let us compile again and see. As you can see, everything is clear now. Let us run and see it. Okay, let us have patience and wait and see. I guess my laptop is somehow, it says enter the positive integer, exactly what we wrote. Let us say 9. As you can see, it has printed all the numbers. It has printed 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, which is exactly what we wanted. And